Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today I'm doing my July and August book haul. So these are all the books that I bought or acquired in July and August. And I'm especially excited about this one. I mean, I'm pretty excited about all of my book hauls because it's like books that I wanted and I got. But I feel like this one I'm especially excited for. Maybe I'm imagining it, but like still, excitement. So first, I'm going to talk about two books that were given to me. The first one is The Harp of Kings by William Eliot. I've mentioned this in a couple of my videos because I was very excited about this release, and I requested this book from the publisher and they very kindly sent it to me for review. And I already have a full review of this, so I'll link that below if you want to know more about my thoughts on this one. But this is the beginning of William Eliot's new series that is the Warrior Bards. We're following three perspectives that are young warriors who are all training and vying to join the elite warriors of Swan Island. So this is set in the same world as the Seven Waters series and the Blackthorn and Grimm trilogy, but we're following these three new warrior characters. Before this turns into a review, I just want to say that I did really enjoy reading this, and as I said, I have a full review linked below, so if you wanted to find out more about what I thought of this one, you can check out that video. The other book that I was given to me by my dad, which is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is very shiny, okay. Because he recently read this one and gave it to me after he was finished with it so that I could read it too. I do know that we follow a con woman who accidentally summons a djinn who then kind of whisks her away to a magical like spirit world, and she gets then involved in all of the politics of this other world. And I've heard a lot of really good things about this. Also, this just has a beautiful cover, and I've heard good things from my dad about it. This wasn't his like favorite thing, but he said he would read the second book, which for him is high praise because he gets bored with books pretty easily. So if he's willing to read the second one, this must have been pretty good. Now I'll move on to the books that I bought for myself, and we'll start with some pre-orders. The first one is The Storm Crow by Kaylin Josephson. This is one that takes place, I think, on an island where there were these giant crows that were involved in the magic of this island, but all of the crows were killed off, but then one egg was found by one of the girls on this island, and I think she and her sisters protect that egg and are trying to use it to hatch it to bring back the magic of this island. So I think that sounds really interesting. It sounds kind of similar to some storylines that have dragons in them. A lot of times where like all the dragons have died off, but then you find like the one like last egg, and then when it hatches it can bring magic back to the land, that kind of thing, but with crows. So I'm kind of interested to see like where that goes and how it's different from the fact that it's crows and not dragons. I'm intrigued by this one. The next book I have is Beasts of the Frozen Sun by Jill Criswell, and this is one that I actually heard about through Juliet Marillier's Facebook page because she mentioned this and reviewed it and said that she really liked it, so that made me kind of interested in it, but also it sounded interesting to me. In this there are two warring countries, and our main character finds a wounded and almost dead man from the other country that her country is warring with, and she decides to hide him and heal him and take care of him, and then the two of them, I'm assuming, have some kind of relationship, and then I believe they work together to save both of their peoples. Then we have The Gossamer Mage by Julie C. Cernetta, and in this, the people of this world worship the deathless goddess, and mages can invoke her power with a kind of scribing magic, but there is a high price on their magic, and so if you become a mage, you risk your life by worshiping the deathless goddess and using her powers. So I'm not totally sure what the plot of this is, but I think that sounds like a really interesting premise and magic, and I'm really intrigued by this one. And the last pre-order that I have is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, and this is one that a lot of people have been talking about, a lot of people have been raving about recently, and this is like a retelling of The 12 Dancing Princesses, but it has kind of a very like dark Moorish seaside setting to it, and I just think it sounds really interesting, and I'm excited about this one. And The 12 Dancing Princesses, I feel like, is a fairy tale that doesn't get a lot of retelling, so I'm interested to see how this one does it. And now for the rest of the books that I got, I have The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill, which is super adorable and has been making the rounds on BookTube because of how cute this is. So this is actually a graphic novel that is about people who take care of these little tiny dragons that grow tea leaves on their horns, and you can harvest the tea leaves and make tea, and like it's just so cute and sweet and wholesome. And it has a little like guide in the back about like how to take care of tea dragons and what the different personalities of the tea dragons are, and it's just like the cutest thing. And this is just the kind of thing I would have loved as a kid because I was obsessed with dragons, and like I would have loved this art style and color palette, and just like I would have loved this so much, so I had to get this. Then I also bought 3 books in a series, which are, these are gonna be very shiny, so Grounded, The Adventures of Rapunzel, Disenchanted, The Trials of Cinderella, and Transformed, The Perils of the Frog Prince, all by Megan Morrison. So this is a middle grade series that I have read the first 2 books. I read Grounded and Disenchanted, and I listened to the audiobooks of these and really liked them. So I decided that I actually wanted to have the physical copies as well. And I haven't read Transformed yet. I'm kind of debating whether I'm going to read it in physical copy or wait to get the audiobook when it comes out, because I'm assuming there's going to be an audiobook coming out, because I've really been loving listening to the audiobooks, but also I kind of don't want to wait. Then I also got Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. So this is the second book in the Strange the Dreamer duology, because I've read Strange the Dreamer in, I think, June, and I have a spoilery discussion about it that I'll link below if you want to know my thoughts on the first book, but a lot of it was that there were a lot of things I loved about it. There were a lot of things that I also kind of hated about it, and I really hated the ending. So I want to read the next book to kind of figure out how I feel about the first book. I haven't gotten around to this one yet, but now I have it so that I can finally put this to rest. Next, I have The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. This is one that was on my list of books about books to read, and then I recently heard a couple of people talking about it. I know Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts was reading this recently and really loved it, and then a friend of mine, my friend Abby, read it and also like loved it and was reading it right around the same time. So I was like, this seems like a sign that I should get this book and read it soon. So I'm really excited to read this one because I've heard really good things about it, and because it's a book about books. And last in this category, we have The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. So this is one that's been on my like mental TBR for a very long time. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. A lot of people say that it's like a more adult version of Six of Crows because it also has this like found family heist setup to it. Which sounds great to me. I love Six of Crows. So if it is anything like that, then I'm very excited for it. Even if it ends up not being like that, I've still heard really great things about it and how much people love the characters and the relationships, and that there is a friendship in this that people like really love. So I love books that have good characters, good relationships, good friendships, like all of that stuff. So I'm really excited about this one. As I said, it's been on my like mental TBR for a really long time, but I'd kind of forgotten about it. And then recently I started watching Murphy Napier's channel, and she talks about this one a lot, and that kind of like reignited my excitement for it and what kind of like pushed me to get it now. And last up we have the nonfiction books. So I have 1 poetry book and then 2 nonfiction. So the poetry book that I got is Edge of Wonder, Notes from the Wilds of Being by Victoria Erickson. So this is one that I don't even remember actually how I found this, but I remember that when I saw the cover, I thought that it was actually going to be like another Tyler Knott Gregson poetry book that I just hadn't found before somehow, because the cover looks really similar to his covers, but it's actually a different author. But then when I went to order this, they gave me like suggestions, like other people bought these other books, and the suggestions were Tyler Knott Gregson books. So I'm hoping that this will have maybe some similarities, because I really like Tyler Knott Gregson's poetry, and I'm really excited about this one. And these last 2, as I said, are nonfiction. So the first is Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. So this one is about being an introvert, what are like the benefits of being introverts, how American culture really values extroversion over introversion, how to kind of navigate that, all of that kind of stuff. And I've already read this one, and I'm going to be talking about this in my August wrap-up. And the last one that I have is Self-Compassion, The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself by Kristin Neff. So this is one that I have been wanting to read for a really long time because Kristin Neff is most well known for writing and teaching about mindful self-compassion. Her and Christopher Germer both teach about this, and mindful self-compassion is a kind of subcategory of mindfulness that I think is really, really interesting. I actually did like a class about mindful self-compassion. I've seen Kristin Neff speak before. I attended a workshop that she did, and I actually am going to be going to see her speak again at the end of September. So I wanted to I've been meaning to read her book, and I was like, all right, I'm going to see her at the end of September. I'm gonna go see her speak. So I really wanted to have finally read one of her books by then, and I've been meaning to read this for so long. So I finally got this book. I'm probably going to listen to the audiobook, but with a lot of nonfiction, I like to have the physical book as well so that I can take notes and underline. And I feel like this is one that I'm going to be taking a lot of notes in because I think this is such an interesting topic, and she has done so much research on it, and it's just such an interesting thing. I'm really excited about this one. So that is all for my July-August book haul. Let me know if you have read any of these and what you thought of them. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye!